Hi, this is Mark Lance again. We're going to continue with our fractions final exam here, where we not only have to do the calculation with the fractions, but before we can do that, we have to figure out what operation we're using. So in the last meeting, we did numbers 1 through 5, and now we're going to continue with number 6. And it says here, Alice makes 1 chair every 3.5 hours at work. If she works 21 hours this week, how many chairs will she make at work? And here we have multiple choice we can look at. All right, so again, think about it for a minute. What are we going to do with these two numbers, 21 and 3.5? Okay, we want to know, since each chair takes 3.5 hours and she has 21 hours to work, how many 3.5s are there in 21? So that means 21 divided by 3.5. How many of these are there in there? That's a division problem. Okay, so let's get rid of this mixed number first. 21 divided by 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. These two are the exact same thing. Okay, and as we mentioned the last time, that dividing by 7 over 2 is the same as multiplying by 2 over 7. Put that 1 there just so they both look like fractions. And here we catch a break again with canceling because 7 goes into 21. 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 21 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. In 21 hours, she can make 6 chairs, with each chair taking her 3.5 hours. Okay? All right. We'll move on to number 7. Number 7 says, Jarrel is weighing packages at the post office. One package weighs 3/8 of a pound, and the other package weighs 5/8 of a pound. What is the total weight of both packages? Well, I don't think we even need to stop here because I think you can see that this is an addition problem, and we got super lucky with this time because we're going to be adding 3/8 and 5/8. And we're lucky because we already have a common denominator. So it's going to be 8ths, and 3 plus 5 is 8. So how many 8ths do we have? 8 of them. 8/8, and 8/8 equals 1, and hopefully that is one of the multiple choices, C. Okay? All right, moving right along. Number 8, Calvin started with 3/4 of a pound of turkey. If he makes a sandwich using 3/8 of a pound of turkey, how much turkey does he have left? So think about that for a second. And I think you're going to agree that it's going to be subtraction. He started with 3/4 or 75% of a turkey, and he made a sandwich with 3/8. So after he takes away the sandwich from the total amount of turkey, how much turkey does he have left? So we don't have a common denominator, but it's pretty easy to get one. 3/4 is going to be 6/8. In case you're wondering how we got that, in order to turn that 4 into an 8, we had to multiply it by 2. And whatever we do on the bottom, we have to do on the top. So 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8. In other words, 6/8 means exactly the same as 3/4. Okay? So we have 6/8 minus 3/8, and it's common denominator, so 6 minus 3, we know the denominator is going to be 8. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3/8. Half the turkey is gone. The other half is remaining for his next sandwich. Okay? Move on to the next one. Number 9. Jen needs to cut a board into 1/5 foot sections. Part of a foot, only 1/5 of a foot. If the board is 2 feet long, how many sections will she have? And then there's a note there, it says think. 2 can be written as a fraction 2 over 1. Okay? So what do you think the operation is going to be? We want to know how many 1/5ths there are in a 2-foot section. So I'm going to say that's going to be 2 divided by 1/5. How many of these can we get out of that? Okay. So the reason why they gave us that note is we can think of it as a fraction. So 2 over 1 divided by 1/5, and like we did in some of the other problems, dividing by 1/5 is the same as multiplying by 5 over 1. Okay, there's no canceling, but look how easy this is. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. Our answer is 10. If you think about this, in 1 there are 5/5. 5/5 equals 1. Well, if there are 5/5 in 1, in 2, there must be twice as many fifths, or 10/5. Okay? And after a while, some of these, it'll be like that to you. It'll be sort of obvious when you look at it. But for the time being, we're going to go step by step to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay, let's go on to another one. And that's going to be number 10. Number 10 says, each bolt in Kevin's toolbox is 7/8 of an inch long. If he lays 9 bolts end to end, how long will the line of bolts be? Okay, so what operation do you think that's going to be? Well, I guess we could add 7/8 plus 7/8 plus 7/8 plus 7/8 9 times, but I think you'll agree that a lot quicker way would be to multiply. So here's the length of 1 bolt, and there's going to be 9 of them altogether. That's a multiplication problem. Okay, looks like there's no canceling to be done here. Let me write that a little bit better. So we're just going to do 9 times 7 is 63. 8 times 1 is 8. And so now we just have to figure out that improper fraction. So it's going to be 63. You could do this in your head probably, but let's not. We wanted 63 divided by 8. So 8 goes into 63 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. 13 minus 6 is 7. 7 what? 7/8. So if you lay 9 of these bolts end to end, you're going to have a total of 7 7/8, which is one of our answers, the multiple choice. Okay? Number 11, Sam rides his bike to school every day. He rides 4 1/2 miles to school, but today he took a longer route home. If his route was 1/8 of a mile longer, how many total miles did Sam ride today? Well, there's a bunch of different ways we could do it, but maybe the simplest way is ordinarily his route is 4 1/2 miles. His route coming home, if he follows the same path, would also be 4 1/2 miles, but we added an extra 1/8 today. And again, they say how many total miles, which tells you it's an addition problem. Not very straight here, but anyway. We don't have a common denominator, so we could change this to 4 4/8. Everyone agree that 4/8 is the same as a half? Here's another 4 4/8, and finally just an 1/8 by itself. We're going to add them all up. So here we have 4/8, another 4/8, that's 8/8 and 9/8. And add up the total here, it's just 8. But that 9/8 equals 1 1/8. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 1 is 9, 9/8. So he rode 8 miles plus 1 1/8. 8 plus 1 is 9, so 9 1/8. Okay? It occurred to me while we're doing this an even faster way, you could probably add 4 1/2 and 4 1/2 in your head. 450 plus 450, anyway, is going to be 9, and just add that 1/8 at the end. 9 1/8, either way. Okay? All right. Almost done. Sydney has a long piece of licorice that measures 2 3/4 feet long. If she splits it in half with her sister, how long will each piece be? well, if she's splitting the licorice in half, you might say she's dividing it in two, okay? So we have 2 2/3 feet of licorice divided by 2 sisters, okay? They want to know how long will each piece be, okay? So this will kind of make the point we made a couple of times before. Well, let's get rid of this mixed number first. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, so 8/3, that's the same as this, divided by 2 over 1, and again, 8/3 divided by 2 is the same as 8/3 times 1/2. In other words, we want to know what's 1/2 of that big piece of licorice. And we catch a little break here with the canceling. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 8, 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 4/3, or 1 1/3. Okay? And again, another way that I think you'll appreciate if you think about it, if we cut both of these in half, half of 2 is 1, half of 2/3 is 1/3. And there's our answer. Okay? All right. 2 more to go, and then we'll be done. When you're all done, you might pay attention to how many you got right out of the total number, and you'll see what your score is on this. Okay. Tim gets 7 3/4 hours of sleep a night. Not bad. How many hours will he sleep over a week? So, multiplication. We could add 7 3/4 7 times, but I don't want to do that. I want to know 1 night's sleep times 7, what's the total, okay? 7 times 4 is 28, 29, 30, 31, 31/4 times 7. Now we just have a simple multiplication problem. 7 times 31, I happen to know, is 217. 4 times 1 is 4. So now we're just going to do 217 divided by 4 to get our answer. Do that here. 4 goes into that 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Remainder 1. 4 goes into 17, 4. Remainder 1. 54. Oops, sorry. 54 and 1/4, which is one of our multiple choice answers. Okay? Our very last one is going to be number 14. A restaurant served 200 people on a busy Saturday night. 2/5 of the people there ordered the dinner special. How many people didn't order the special? Well, let's think about this for a second. Let's try to save time. We could figure out what 2/5 of, let's write it here, 2/5 of 200 is. Okay, well, we may as well do it. We can cancel. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 24, 40. So 2 times 40 is 80. Okay? 2/5 of the people did order the dinner special. Okay? If there's 200 people in the restaurant, we could just subtract this because they want to know how many didn't. Okay? So if the total of people in the restaurant is 200 and 80 did order the dinner special, if we take away the people that did order it, this is going to be 120. Okay? But you saw we had to do 2 things. We had to do a multiplication, and then we had to do a subtraction. And that's why they're giving us this, where they say think. First, figure out what fraction didn't order the special. Well, if 2/5 did order the special, 3/5 didn't order the special, right? Because here's 2/5 who did order it, plus the 3/5 who didn't order it. That adds up to 5/5. That's everybody. So we could save time if we think about this in advance. The total number of people is the same, 200, And since we want to know who didn't order the special, we could just right from the start multiply 200 times 3/5. It's not any harder to do this problem. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into that 40, and now we're multiplying it by 3, so 3 times 40 is 120. We got the same answer, but we did it in one step. The other way, we had to do the multiplication and then the subtraction. Here we did our subtraction using the fraction to get 3/5. We multiplied that fraction times 200, and in one step we get our answer of 120. Okay, if you got all of them right, you're good with fractions. Hope to see you again soon, and if you're interested, check out the Weber House. It's a good mystery for young and old. See you soon.